Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the next part of this base mesh modeling tutorial. Um, I believe where we left off, I wanted to tweak the feet on this base mesh and then go ahead and start the arms. And as far as the hands go, we will probably pick that up in another video too, due to my time limitations today. Also, a little note, you may notice that this background is gradient now. I just downloaded and installed the latest build of Blender, which gives you a gradient background, and also on the pie menus here, just installed the latest version of that, which adds some icons. It's really awesome. It just keeps getting better. So anyway, big shout out to Liquid Ape and those who are working on the pie menu, and everybody that are working on add-ons for Blender. I do thank you very much. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start by going to the front view and let's tweak these feet some more. Looks like we need a little rotation there, and you can probably tell also that some of my colors are a little bit different, and that's because I've been playing around with the color scheme and Blender background and so on and so forth. So anyway, what I've done is grab this foot and made it a little bit wider. Let's grab, I'll tell you what, those vertices are kind of hard to see, so I'm gonna have to go Control Alt U, and let's just change the color of them. That's one of those great things about Blender, is that you can change your preferences as needed. So sorry about having to do this, but let's see, I think that darker color is a little better for me. So what I'm going to do is grab those right there, go ahead and scale them in the Z to, scale them in the Z to flatten them out. Scale them in a little bit there. Now let's go back to solid and see if our feet look a little bit better. That's definitely better. Probably not the greatest, but I'm not going to continue to tweak them in this video. You can give them a tweak yourself if you want. So let's go ahead and get started on our arms. Okay, let's go to the side view, go to wireframe display, and the top of our shoulders right here, but I think I'm going to grab this vertice right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my W key and go to Loop Tools and choose Circle, and that's going to give us the starting of our arm about in the right place. Go back to my side view, switch over to faces, circle select, and then let's rotate this just slightly so that those vertices are not quite so tweaked up so bad. Let's see, let's go to the top view maybe and rotate this around a little bit. Go to the front view, go to wireframe, and we'll just drag this out a little bit to kind of see if it's going to match up with our arm, and it is. So let's Control Z that, maybe bring it down a little bit. And what we're going to do is extrude this, and then we'll have to go back and let's see what happens if we flatten this out. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Okay. If we drag this out here to match up here, what it's going to do right here is kind of screw our geometry up to where it's not matching up to our reference good enough. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we don't want it that distorted. So let's go ahead. I'm going to tap my E key and extrude out here, and during the extrusion I'm going to tap my Z key to free up that extrude on the normal axis there. And let's go ahead and scale this down. I hit my S key to scale, and let's just kind of match that up with the end of the wrist there. Now we'll need to go back to the solid view and go back here and go back to vert selection, and let's go ahead and fix this. Just going to drag this out a little bit and maybe down, and this one definitely needs to come out a little bit, and this one drag it around maybe a little bit more. Let's see the ones that are back. I think I want to drag this one up because this this polygon right here, I don't like the way it looks. So what I'm going to do is, with this vertex selected, I'm going to hit Shift V, and what that does is activate the slide vertex tool. And when you hover over your cursor over an edge, it highlights, and that's the edge that it will slide on. So I'm going to highlight it, this edge right here, and I'm going to click, and you can see that I can slide that vertex along that edge. So put it about there, I think. Now let's Control Z that. I don't want to pull it up quite that far. So Shift V, highlight this edge and drag it up just a bit. Click to confirm that. I really don't like the way that looks. We may just go ahead and leave it for now. Maybe tweak it by, just grab it and tweak it a little bit by eye. Well, good enough for now. So we're just going to leave it that way for right now. Alright, let's go back to our front view, and let's add some loop cuts in there, and Control R, and we'll add 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. We may need a 6th one, I'm not sure, but we'll go do that when necessary if we need to. So I'm gonna go back to my wireframe here, and I want to flatten those loops out. So S for scale, X direction, 0 on my numpad, and enter to flatten that out. And remember, I also showed you that you could just drag over like this. Scale in the X will flatten that out. But it's easier to just go SX0, enter. SX0, enter. Flatten that out in the X. SX0, flatten that out. Okay. Now let's just grab this edge loop here. Start dragging it into, let's drag them all into place. And then we'll go back in there and scale those. That one looks good. Let's go ahead and start back down here and begin to scale this. Drag it a little bit. That one's almost about right for now. This one we may want to, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and add that other edge loop in here. Flatten it out. Those edge loops are a little close together. I do not like that. Just kind of drag it up. And that'll work. Now let's use our edge slide, and you can find the edge slide over here. I'm not sure what the hotkey for it is. Click the edge slide. Let's just slide that down just a little bit. Now let's slide it a little bit more. Kind of get a little more space in between those edge loops. And I think that'll work. Let's go back to our solid view and go to front. Yeah, we need to tweak this a little bit. I think what we'll do is maybe rotate that just slightly. Go back to our wireframe, scale that in, and just start to define our shoulders a little bit. I want to grab this edge loop here too and scale it in maybe just a little bit. Maybe rotate it just slightly. Okay. Let's see, that is awful sharp up there. We need to fix this a little bit better too. Okay, let's go back to solid. And maybe grab this vert and use the edge slide and maybe slide it up a little bit. Maybe grab this and pull it back a little bit. So I'm going to pause the video for a minute. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had to pause the video a minute. We were working on the shoulder. Let's go ahead and take a look here. At our reference. I still do not like the way that looks. So I don't want to keep adding too much in here. But let's go ahead and take a look at this, and let's go ahead drag it up a bit. Let's go ahead and grab this, rotate it, scale it maybe. No, that's not gonna work. Let's try this. Rotate it and maybe use the edge slide down just a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Probably will be good enough for this base mesh for now, because we are going to probably go into start tweaking this arm just a little bit more here in a minute to kind of give it a little more definition here. And maybe even towards the end of the video or this tutorial, this is probably not going to be the last part, because we no, it's not, because we still have to do the hands. So let's go ahead and go back to solid view and take a look at our arm. Switch out of orthographic. Let's go to object view and take a look, see what we've got here. Doesn't look too bad. There he is smoothed. I prefer my lighting to be just a little different myself. That is the quick preferences add-on there that I'm using to adjust the lights. Okay, let's go ahead and since our reference image doesn't have very good different views on for the arms, we're just going to kind of do a little eyeballing here and kind of eyeball these points a little bit. So let's go ahead and hide our manipulator and grab those three there and maybe this one. Those 3 points there, and pull them out and start to define a bicep a little bit here. And this is where it comes in handy to have some knowledge of anatomy, which I am still studying and still learning. I have a whole lot to learn about anatomy. So let's go ahead and tweak these a little bit more to kind of start defining a few muscles. Looks like we may need to pull this out a bit to kind of establish an elbow. Maybe pull those back in, down, up, kind of starting to define that arm just a little bit. I'm not talking too much and boring you. Okay. Let's see what else we might want to begin to. I think I'll leave that arm now. Let's go ahead and this a little bit more. That's good enough. Leave it alone. It's once you start doing that, you'll find ways to continuously tweak yourself to death. Let's define these packs a little bit. Start to pull those in, and maybe begin to pull these down. Could do this in sculpt mode. Maybe pull these back to just start defining our rib cage a little bit. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and over in the sculpt mode and hit G for the grab, and start to just gradually tweaking some of these verts to start defining some definition here. It's just going to be slight. I'm probably not going to do this very long because I want to. This is more about the base mesh. And so anyway, I think that's about it for this part, but we will go ahead and start on the hands in the next video. Just remember to go ahead and save as you go along, but that's it for this part, and we'll pick up and do some more tweaking and start modeling our hands.